I don't think it's the actual generator for $2.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the shipping's like $15, and I was like, well, wait a minute. Okay, so that brings it up like to $19, maybe $20. And I'm just wondering, but there's like no reviews on it. So I'm like, okay. Like, should I try to James Lechner? Oh, okay. Let's see what we got here.
All right, got us.
James wanted the Zoom ID and password. Wait a minute.
Oh, wait, hang on.
Let's. I'll grab it. I don't know why he doesn't hold on to that.
Let's see.
Do that.
But I got us live on YouTube. About to go live on the radio and then on TikTok. Just a couple minutes.
All right. Hopefully James will get in. I gave him the ID and the password, so.
All right.
Okay. And we can have James on. That'd be good.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, I'm doing a new sculpt for. I had the 39-inch Seaview that had, I had talked to these guys about, and I remember you asked me about a new voyage to the bottom of the sea monster one time, and I said, I really wasn't. I said I really like to do the one where the scientist, gets real big and he's wearing that yellow sweater, and he's attacking the Seaview. So I basically have to sculpt. I have to sculpt out his head, but I have to get all the dimensions of it. So, and then after I get, I guess after I get the sculpt done, I could give the head or the body to James. He has a 3D scanner, and he could 3D scan it, and then he can print it, and then he can give those files to Gilbert, and then Gilbert can make his own thing, and then then everybody will have a giant scientist who can attack the sea view with a yellow cashmere sweater underwater. So
all right, live on the radio, about to go live on TikTok. So whenever you're ready, you can go ahead, and then TikTok will just catch up when it catches up.
Okay. Hello, boys and girls, and children of all ages. This is Model Citizen on GCPR, Ghost Claw Productions Radio. I am your host, George Dayer. I am flanked by my wonderful host, the angry IT nerd, Gilbert, and hopefully James Lechner, the print master, will come in eventually. And we have a special guest today, Mr. David Ivaldi. He is a wonderful, terrific model maker that I know. I'm proud to call him my friend, and he's a terrific guy to boot, but he's also a great model maker. I think I had met you. I think the first time I met you was at Jersey Fest. That was 2000. I'm gonna say 2015.
Could be. I think I went to the first one in 2014. So it was either 2014 or 15.
Okay, I think I met Tony Pachetti, and then I met you because you guys were like sharing the same table.
Yeah.
And I met you guys, but I was just blown away by all the models that you make, and so the question I usually ask our guests are who is David Ivaldi, and how did you get here? And don't not say that George gave me the Zoom link.
I won't say that. I assume you just want a little bit of background, maybe how I the whole model thing.
Right.
Well, I'm 64 years old now, but I started building models probably before I was a teenager, and I built models into my late teens when other interests took over. And then I didn't touch a model again since I was about 16 or 17, right up until, I think it was 2014. I had injured my Achilles tendon and needed surgery. And so I needed something to do while I was out of work for a couple of weeks and I couldn't do any kind of exercising for a few weeks. I just started spending time in front of my computer, just Googling mindless things. And I found I found to my surprise that many of the model kits I had built as a kid were still available in one form or another, and that there were so many more things, aftermarket parts, and people had YouTube videos of their builds and stuff. So I said, I've got the time on my hands, and let me take the plunge. So I went into a Michael's craft store and picked up an SR-71, decided to build that, and I put some LEDs in it, and I was very happy with the way it turned out. And then it just kind of blanched after that. So now I've probably done about 43 or 44 builds since 2014.
Wow.
So I'm averaging
Nice.
Maybe 4, maybe 5 a year at any given time. Sometimes, well, going back a year or two, I had about 16 works in progress at the same time. And I said, this is ridiculous. I'm not starting anything else until I whittle that down a little. Now I'm down to about 4 or 5 in progress. And it's a lot less clutter and things to keep track of this way. But my favorite part of building the models is lighting them up, the whole electronics thing. So generally, once that's figured out, it kind of sits for a while, and I start fooling around with the next one. Because when you come to the decaling and that stuff, I find that to be a little bit tedious at times, depending on the model. Some don't have a lot of decals or a lot of details, and those usually get through my pipeline very quickly. But the ones, say the Enterprise D, where I did one of those masking kits on it, that kit was probably about 4 or 5 years from the time I started it to the time I finished it. So those things, and, some of them drag on a long time, and others, like that space station from 2001 that came out this past summer, I think in May. I just finished that up in October, so that was a pretty quick build. Sometimes if something really strikes my fancy and I want to get it done in a hurry, I can. But usually doesn't happen that way.
Usually your models, because I remember you told me if it doesn't fit in the glass case, it doesn't get, it doesn't get into the glass case. So,
That's right.
but the Saturn V, space station, like from 2001.
The space station is quite big. That sits on top of my bar. I can't fit it on any shelf or case. So we're probably going to move later this year. So maybe once we're moved, I'll figure out a more permanent way of displaying it. But for now, it's the bulkiest. It's the bulkiest kit that I have.
I just wanted to know what your process was for, like, I guess for building models. Hey, James.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on, James?
Hey.
Caps lock.
Hi,
Hey,
Jim. How are you?
I figured it was caps lock. Okay, I'm sorry.
I was just show me the passcode on the thing. It's disastrous. Drives me nuts.
Okay, so yeah, I'm sorry. Wait. So I just want to know what Dave's process was for actually building models. How do you pick your models? Do you just pick it by models you've always wanted to build, like favorites, or you just?
Well, my first love in science fiction is Star Trek, so I have probably about 11 Star Trek kits built, and probably about 5 or 6 in my stash as yet. But I like everything that was on TV when I was a kid, from Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, Battlestar Galactica, Buck Rogers. I have all those kits. I have a Jupiter 2 that I probably won't get to for another 2 or 3 years at least, but but a lot of it is planned. I already have the electronics that I'm planning. I plan the electronics first, and then I put everything in the box. And then when its turn comes, I'll get to it. But I'm mostly a sci-fi guy. I do have 4 or 5 kits of actual aircraft as well. Usually the aircraft, uh, like the SR-71 or the uh, B-2 bomber, have an exotic kind of look to them, and they kind of look like they could be kind of science fiction-y. So that's what attracts me to those particular jets. I have Bell X1 that Chuck Yeager broke the sound barrier in. I like that one because I'm a huge fan of the movie The Right Stuff, and I had to have that kit. That's probably one of my least elaborately lit kits, but I do have a soundboard in there that plays some of the music from The Right Stuff. So
cool.
that was kind of a fun little, not too difficult build.
I had seen some of your the video that you shot, and you have an XB, the XB-70, the Valkyrie.
XB-70 experimental bomber.
Yeah, the experimental bomber.
Have you seen it? Have you seen it in real life? Have you seen that bomber in real life?
No, I haven't. I'd love to.
You gotta go. I visit it every year. I make an annual pilgrimage on my way to Wonderfest. I stop by the Air Force Museum in Dayton.
Yeah.
Oh, it's enormous.
One of these days I'll get there.
Oh, it's best airplane museum in the world. You'll love it.
Yeah. I think of the two XB-70s that were built, that's the only surviving one. The other, I think, had a mid-air crash with another aircraft that did that.
Too. As for photograph, they were doing a photographic run for the company that built the XB-70, and I think it was Lockheed. Might have been Lockheed. And the photographer said, "Hey, get a little closer so I can get all the planes in the shot." And the Starfighter collided with one of the rear ailerons or something. So it's really. XB-70 is kind of one of my favorites. One of my got books and all kinds of stuff. But anyway, sorry, I diverged.
It's okay. Get a little bit of aviation history. That's fine. We were talking about you have over 40. Well, you have over 44 models built now.
About 44 built. About 5 works in progress, and probably a stash of another 25 or so. I think that should probably, if I finish all of those, it should certainly carry me to the point where my eyes and my hands will start to fail me. So I'm trying to build them in a hurry because I don't know how many years I have left, but
good fear, isn't it? It's like when you finally have the time. It's like that Burgess Meredith character in that Twilight Zone episode. Time enough.
Say, I have the time.
All right, I'm fine. I got time to build these kits, and then I can't do it. I can't see anything.
Yeah, that's why that's why I like to go for the bigger models because I could see where I'm putting wiring.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm saving the original Enterprise 350 scale and the refit 350 scale. They're right towards the end of the stash. So as I lose my ability to see, hopefully the increasing size of the kits will compensate for it.
Oh, there you go.
I also want to be. I want to be living in a place where I'm pretty sure it'll be the last place I'll be living before I finish those kits, because I don't want to move them around either once they're done.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Well, I mean, if we can get James to
that's
fair.
Yeah.
Make them bigger.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, by the way, I found that episode. You're talking about doing that thing with the Leviathan.
Yeah.
I found a 3D model where somebody did the little undersea lab.
Oh, cool.
Really nice. So I'll print you up one.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Anybody wants one, let me know.
Yeah, I have to find the. It has. I guess it would have to be in scale with. I guess with the 39-inch C view.
Yeah.
I'm trying. Yeah, I'm trying to
You
get
figure out-
like
you
the
figure out the
dimensions of that now. But once I get the face and everything down in the body, I could give it to you, and then you can do it, and you can 3D scan it, like if you want to, and
Sure. Sure.
so we'll get it all done, and everybody will have one. You could sell the kit. I don't know. I did. James and I were talking. We were talking offline. We're actually talking about using the 8-inch Seaview as a bubbler for a fish tank. So trying to create a resin, 3D model. So I said, well, that's interesting. And I was like, I found some bubblers that actually have LEDs in them. So we could possibly put lighting
Oh yeah.
in the model.
Yeah.
And actually it could be, like a bubbler for a fish tank. And, because like the bubbles come out of the side of the Seaview, if you ever see it,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
like in the episode, and you could use it as a bubbler in a fish tank. And then if we could put some sort of an interior, just like a makeshift interior or something like that, that could be molded, you could actually, put LEDs in it and light it. So.
David doesn't look convinced. I'm not sure if he
If it doesn't what?
Doesn't look quite convinced. It doesn't look like he's 100% on board with it.
Hopefully, you can make it completely waterproof. That's probably the biggest problem I see. But if you could seal all the electrical connections, well, it could work.
Yeah, I was thinking of actually molding it in clear, and then just basically putting the LEDs, into the clear.
Yeah.
But I did find a resin that you can actually use for fish tanks, so it is possible.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
with all the products that they sell to put into fish tanks, there's got to be some materials out there that you could use for that purpose.
Right. So, Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. Do you do any Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea stuff, or Dave, or?
I have, you might remember one of those Jersey Fest shows. I had the original Aurora flying sub that I had lit up. Did some modifications on it because the fit on that thing was so god awful. Very happy with that. I think I got a second place for that particular kit. And then I built the small, maybe 9-10 inch Seaview from the original, from the movie, with the 8 windows in front.
Yeah.
And the only lighting I really did for that was the windows, some spotlights underneath the front of the sub, and I displayed a nuclear missile being fired from one of the launch tubes.
Would you be able to show us any of your stuff? I know our listeners are listening, but
the ones that are watching on YouTube,
the video, you could watch us.
I'll do a little bit of a walk
on our
around.
GCPR YouTube channel.
I took several kits off of my shelves and out of the case and displayed them here on the bar where I could get a little bit more up close to them.
Okay.
So why don't I switch cameras here so that I can display this.
Oh,
Here.
wow.
oh, that is cool.
That is, I have
That's
not.
See, I was just about to, I was about to have a swear jar violation just then.
That's awesome.
I don't know if you can hear the audio.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome, man.
Johann
that's fantastic.
Strauss. I snatched that off the internet onto a soundboard, so I'm very pleased with the way that one turned out.
Man, that would win some. That would definitely win some awards at Wonderfest. I can tell you right now. Just looking at it, that is awesome.
So just kill the sound there. I'll move over to. I'm displaying just the last 4 kits that I completed. This here is
the Hawk, the Mark
Space 1999 Hawk
Yep.
with a scratch-built cockpit, firing cannons, and engine effects around the back.
Wow,
Oh wow, that's cool.
that is awesome.
That is really cool.
Very simple, just those candle flicker effects.
Hey, I was just going to ask.
Yeah.
You, that's what you use.
Very
Yeah.
simple. And then I put some cottony stuff in there to just
Yeah.
diffuse it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Awesome. Well, that is again another award winner right there.
Here we've got a Klingon
Yeah.
bird of prey. I used one of those
Oh, movable.
hinge
Oh.
kits for the wings. It has some sound. I don't know if you can hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like somebody saying,
Yeah. That's what it sounds like, yeah.
I've got this push button for the weapons, but oh, there you go.
There we go. Yeah.
You got disruptors and torpedoes there. It's got flickering engine effect in the back.
There you go.
And
Enterprise D.
Yeah.
I had seen that
Ooh,
one.
nice.
It took me like 5 or 6 years to finish.
Wow.
The thing that really made that a long project was I was always afraid to start doing the Aztec masking on it. So it just sat there for a long time waiting for me to do that. This is the old kit where you had to drill all the windows out, not the clear kit.
Yep, one 537 kit that was molded in eggshell blue, I believe.
Yes, it was. It was.
I did that 17 times for the hobby shop, and then after that, I was done. I was like, no, not doing it anymore.
I'll give you a quick walk around of the other room here.
Okay.
All the other stuff is.
Wow. Oh, yeah, Forbidden Planet C-57D.
Yep.
The Invaders, Flying Saucer. That's the Ares 51 UFO.
Yeah, Pegasus, I think.
Sorry, Pegasus, yeah, UFO.
That's
That's the Hannibal, the Hannibal
Yeah.
German saucer, I believe.
Yep.
That's the War of the World
Oh,
War
man.
Machine.
I used
the
a lot.
Ark
Mhm.
from the war, I think when Worlds Collide.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Space Ark. Oh, you got it with the. That's. Let me get a little closer. Can you get a little closer into that? That is-
Yeah, yeah. I got that the
Oh.
paragraphics kit where you could build it like it's under construction.
Wonderful.
Oh, cool.
Oh, that is cool.
Pegasus kit is it's just a plain cigar shape. There's nothing to it.
Yeah.
But by using that the paragraphics kit, it makes for a really nice, not so easy builds, but a lot more satisfying.
Oh, the Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy
yeah.
Quest.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Leif Erikson.
That's the
That's
UFO.
really cool, yeah.
mystery ship. The Leif Erikson. Oh,
Yeah.
actually, it was called the UFO mystery ship,
Well,
Yeah.
it was called the UFO
Mhm.
mystery ship, and when it,
After-
and then it
Yeah.
became.
it was originally
Yeah.
Leif Erikson.
Leif
Mhm.
Erikson.
Icarus.
The Icarus from Planet of the Apes. That's actually
Correct.
pretty cool.
That's a sweet skydiver, man. Where'd you get
Nice.
that kit?
Oh, the skydiver there is a.
Sky.
I can't remember the company. They made a resin kit for it. It's a great kit.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah. I think Tony Hardy has one of those too. Just hasn't built it yet.
And I got engine effects in there. And to try to liven it up a bit, I used one of Lieutenant Control's navigation boards to put strobes and navigation lights on it.
Cool.
And I have my own circuit for firing the machine guns in front.
Incredible.
So that was a fun build.
That is so
And-
cool.
UFO interceptor.
Yeah. That's off the what was it? Not the IAMI kit or
Yeah,
the Japanese-
yeah, something like that. Something like that. So I lit up the cockpit. It's a little hard to see because it's such a small kit.
Mhm.
But
The Eagle.
yeah,
That's the one. Well, that's the 148 scale eagle. No,
No,
it's
that's
the one
that's the original. I think the original.
172nd.
Oh, the
172nd.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
they said, but it's really not 172nd. Although that's what it said on the box. I think.
Yeah,
than that.
those fun dimension kits. Yeah, they were they were accurate enough. I guess they were certainly better.
So they're accurate-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
accurate-ish. That was the Orion, and then that's the.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, I remember.
Oh.
That. I think I sculpted that for you.
You sculpted the base for me there.
I sculpted the base. Yeah.
Yeah, you wanted to build a really big, elaborate base. I said, "No, George, it's got to fit on the shelf. You got."
I was gonna build him the landing pad, and then the actual excavation site. With with the thing with the astronauts. And he goes, "I don't want to have 5 gawking astronauts at this thing. I just want this." Okay, no problem.
Here we go.
Oh, there it is. The flying.
That's
saucer.
that's the Aurora kit, or is that the?
That's the Aurora kit.
That's the Aurora kit.
If you remember, there was the whole middle section on top comes off, but the fit was so poor, I glued the whole thing together, and I sawed out the hatch on top.
Oh
so
wow!
that you could see inside there.
Oh, that's
You did the
cool.
floor, too. That's
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
and the reactor wall. Yeah, and actually, the mold of that kit, you can't really see it from here, but once I painted the figures, the Admiral Nelson figure really looks like Admiral Nelson once you paint it. And there's the Seaview firing the
Oh yeah.
missile is in mid-flight.
That's
pretty cool.
8-inch one.
Here we go.
Here's the
Bell X1.
Oh.
the Bell X1.
Yeah.
I
The
put
Chuck Yeager.
lights in the cockpit, nothing elaborate because heck, it's not really a high-tech high-tech thing. So outside of having the rockets in the back and a few little lights in the instrument panel, that was all I intended to put there. And you got the
B-1 bomber.
B-2 bomber.
B-2 bomber. Sorry.
Yeah. This was
My favorite SR-71.
R-71.
Mach 3 plus.
Yeah. And there you have the
There it is.
70.
XB-70 Valkyrie.
Hey, did you know? Interesting thing was that if you remember from that episode of UFO where they have the transport plane, or it's like they're in the first episode when they're flying across the Atlantic and the UFO is chasing them.
Yeah.
It's not, that's actually an XB-70, but it's turned upside down. They kind of took the bottom and they inverted it, where it was on the top, and they took the rest of it and stuck it on the bottom. So you can always retrofit it. I assume yourself a Shad Air vehicle. So if you ever got it, don't have an ideas, there's one for you right there. Love to see what you do with that one. So.
The rest of these are a little tough to see just because they're behind glass, and I have mirrored wall behind it. So there's lights all over the place. Mm. It's kind of hard to make heads or tails from a video. It doesn't do.
K-7 space station from Trouble with Troubles.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
USS Grissom.
That's right.
Sovereign class.
That's correct.
USS Enterprise. That's the original TOS shuttle.
Yeah, I did a lot to try to accurate.
Oh wow, the Vulcan shuttle. Wow.
Oh.
That's an old kit. That's an oldie.
Yeah, it's an AMT kit, right?
Yeah, an old AMT kit.
I painted it more like a bronze color as opposed to the gray that it's supposed to be. Just because, in my view, in the movie, it looked more bronze. The actual model is in grays, but I always like to paint it the way I kind of see it on screen.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, same here.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense.
USS Reliant and Romulan. Yeah, I remember your Romulan warbird from the show. That's the it's the original Romulan.
Yeah.
It's bird of prey. with the eagle. I always hated that decal. Couldn't stand that decal.
I used an aftermarket one. I forgot whose, but it went on pretty nicely. What happened now?
We lost video a little bit. Oh,
Hour.
okay.
There we go. And this is
Battlestar
my,
Galactica, 1978.
Ooh,
Battlestar Galactica.
nice.
I remember
my
That's pretty cool. I like
Glenn
that.
Larson.
It's-
Okay.
Viper, yep.
I set my remember back in like '79. I bought like who I forget who was it, who made that
Original base star. I'm sorry. What?
who made that original Battlestar Galactica kit. But back in the '70s, you had like the
Monogram.
monogram, and I remember I melted mine because I was trying to light it from the inside, and back in those days you had to use incandescent bulbs.
Yeah,
Is that-
too hot. Too
Yeah.
hot.
Yeah,
Is that the 1/32 scale? Cylon Raider.
This is the original small one.
Okay, because I remember you gave me the 1/32 scale. Like,
Yeah.
I think I bought it from you.
No,
No.
I gave it to you. I bought it by mistake, thinking
yeah.
it was a smaller one. It was one of those things that wouldn't fit on my shelf. That's why when I realized what I had bought, I just gave it to you.
I put that thing together. It was like as big as a Captain America shield. That's how big it was. That thing was huge.
Yeah.
I remember that.
The
That
Starfighter
Cylon
from-
Raider, that was like one of the first models where I actually recognized the agreeably from another model. Do you know which one was painfully obvious on that Cylon? Was
It's inside the it's inside the hangar deck of the base star. The episode like where Apollo and Starbuck go into the base star and
Yeah.
you see them all on the hangar deck.
Yeah.
The bottom of the Cylon Raider is on the wall.
oh really?
Yeah.
But if you look closely at that Cylon Raider, you'll recognize the interior like bulkheads with the door from the Invaders Aurora model.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was like one of the first I said, "Hey, that's the doorway, in the Invaders model."
Anyhow, yeah, that's the tour there. So
Very
Thank you very much.
I've
for
seen
that.
some
Awesome,
of them at
awesome.
the Scale Model Club, which I don't go to anymore.
yeah, it's been a while since I saw you at that.
Yeah, well, I didn't. There were a couple people there I didn't care for at the last meeting, so I'm not going back.
Did the conversation get political or something?
It was getting close. We had some really nasty stares at one another. Yeah, so I was like, I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, some things you just can't talk about in mixed company. Politics and religion.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are two. Stay away from those.
And I, with my temper, I it's very hard for me.
But yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I can even imagine the who the fellow might have been.
I think you do. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, if they're wondering what happened, that's the reason. So just let me know when that guy kicks the bucket or something. Maybe I'll come back. So.
It is
That's hilarious to
want
me.
Reset the show. You are listening to Model Citizen on GCPR, Ghost Claw Productions Radio. If you do not know how to listen, you can go to our website, gcpr.live, and listen live. If you do not know how to find us, we are on a GCPR YouTube channel. We're also, I believe, on Twitch and TikTok. GCPR on TikTok. And wanted to give a shout out to Ralph Tenaglia at Tenna Controls, tennacontrols.com, bringing models to light. He is one of our sponsors. We're trying to find some other sponsors. So Dave, how you doing? Dave and I were talking. We're talking, on the phone, and he had a great idea for a T-shirt, and I said, well, he had a great idea. I mean, he told me something, and I was like, this is a great idea for a T-shirt that we should sell on the Model Citizen shop. If we ever create a shop, we will. And he said, every day is Saturday. He said, I'm retired. Every day is Saturday. And I was like, oh, That would be great, and be like, I'm a model maker every day. Wait, I'm a model maker, and I'm retired. Every day is Saturday. So I thought that would be a great shirt to sell. I'm a model citizen shop. So
Yeah. It's yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, is it retirement? I don't know. Well, we'll see what happens there. So, I thought I was ready, man. I'm not so sure now. So
No, there's this one shirt I want to get that says 3D printing is important, education is importanter, or something, or something to the effect of like that. But yeah, I'm gonna get that shirt.
I see a Japanese rocket ship in the background there, James.
oh yeah. It was usually I come in the show and I don't have anything. Yeah, this is something. This is actually, let me just pick this up. This might be it. Yeah, this is actually something I did up in CAD, but it's the SPIP from Battle in Outer Space.
Battle in Outer Space, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
okay.
so yeah, I did this up in CAD and then 3D printed it and some resin parts, some FDM, and this is kind of a rough draft and but it did I got an award at Wonderfest for it.
Nice.
Yeah,
Cool. That's cool.
But yeah, it's a very crappy paint job on the thing. I'm amazed I got anything for it. But it's really because I just wanted to make it and and just see how it came out. And then I printed up this base here too.
Oh, it's just horrible, James. Let me just say,
It looks like crap.
looks like crap.
Yeah.
Do better.
Yeah. Hey, next one will be better. I promise.
It's fine on camera.
Even though for the record looks amazing. I'm just saying, but James, do better.
Yeah, I get more of an enjoyment. I like putting this stuff together and painting and all like that. But I found I get more enjoyment in just kind of like designing these things, and not necessarily scanning them, but actually doing them up in CAD and stuff, and and then printing it out, and then I'll make it up. And usually, when I'm done with it, I just give it to people. I give it away. That's why I don't have any problem with finding a place to put this stuff, because I make them and I give them away, So it's.
I found, I was talking to Gilbert on the other show, I think on Help Desk, and I said, I think we can find a way to keep the big models for James in his house. And I said, if you created a model of the Cloud City of Bespin, but made it into a table, you could put it in your house and have a glass table and go, but honey, look, it's functional. I can keep it. But it's the Cloud City of Bespin.
Right? Look, it works.
The shaft that comes down to the reactor could be the pole that actually holds the table. And I was like, yeah, I got, no, like, nope, you're not putting it there, but it's a table.
No, I don't think you get away from
So you could get it slip past the misses on that one. You say, hey, it's functional.
It's that she likes the '50s looking stuff, because she likes that mid-century modern. So that stuff I'm able to kind of keep it around, put it in the living room without too much complaint. So, but yeah.
Like the K7 space station could be like 3 tables with could be like a main table.
Is it right?
With like 3 outskirt tables holding stuff, And,
right?
No, not going to put it there. No.
Oh boy. So what else? I mean, you got to be doing something else with your time besides building models and stuff, Dave. So.
Well, I'm an avid runner. Just before
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
I did a 7-miler just before the show started today.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's it's like because I think you and I are pretty close since the same age, and I was like, oh, this guy's actually in shape. I was like, those guys at that model club, man.
So that's 7 more miles than I want to run. I'm just saying like that.
I'll get back there though. I have started not running.
We have 3 pets as well, so you're always at the vet with one or the other. One is always having an issue at any given time, And then you have to go and keep the missus happy by doing things with her as well. So retirement is still a time where there's a lot of things.
Yeah, yep. See how that goes. But yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but still, that's 7 more miles than I'd like to run. I'm just saying. That's just me. I'll stick with my little bit of cardio, as long as it's not running 7 miles. I can't do
Yeah.
Well, that's another reason why I'm glad I got into this modeling thing again, because at 64, while I'm still running very respectably for a guy my age, this could all come crashing down at any time. Then I'm going to need something to do, something else to do, and I already have it.
Well, don't go.
Makes sense. Definitely makes sense. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
So I noticed of all the Jerry Anderson stuff you had, you kind of focused on UFO, which I totally relate to. But has there ever been any other ships from the Jerry Anderson show? Well, you did Space 1999 too, so excuse me.
Yeah, and I do have a resin kit of the Fireball XL5. I don't know when I'll ever get around to that one though.
That would be nice. Yeah, that'd be a great kit. And that one, you could probably do some nice lighting on that too. Because it's got that big cockpit.
I got it from Fantastic Plastic.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Captain Cardboard.
They did
Okay.
that. I didn't know they did it.
Yeah, Fantastic Plastic did Fireball XL5.
It's maybe about a foot long. I don't think it's a real big kit, but maybe you could put it on the launch rail or something like that if you wanted to do a diorama or something. But we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. That'd be terrific.
Yeah, Fireball XL5. I used to watch that. I remembered that Robert the Robot, inside of his clear chest, he had toothpaste tubes on top of like the detail where the little Crest toothpaste tubes that used to screw on the thing.
Cap.
That's where it was inside his chest.
Yeah.
My brother pointed it out, and he goes, "Are those toothpaste?" I was like, "Yeah, they're toothpaste caps." And he got
waste not, want not.
Oh, waste not, want not. That's right.
Hey,
So that was the only character that Jerry Anderson actually voiced himself. But he did it through. But that was actually Jerry Anderson talking. It's interesting.
Yeah, we had talked about Captain Scarlet, on the show and everything. When Captain Scarlet, because Captain Scarlet was, like every scene was a model. Every single scene, and then we had puppets who were smoking and all this other stuff. Because back in the '60s, it was just, that was the thing. That was the thing. So.
Yeah, drinking alcohol.
Drinking hard liquor, and you weren't anybody if you didn't smoke and you didn't have a bar.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Like James Bond, everybody had to have a bar. I mean,
exactly.
Of course. I mean, my dad did. So I mean, as growing up, I had a bar. All right, my dad. Let me put it like this: in the living room growing up, in our den, he had a whole setup, like a whole bar, like a whole
tiki bar type thing.
No, like a regular bar, like a bar, like a play pool. He had a pool table set up. He had a whole mini bar set up. He had set up to where you could watch TV, or you could. He literally had. He set our whole den as a bar.
Yeah.
And he'd have all his coworkers come over. They would just hang out at.
Was it a fully stocked bar?
Yes. 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 I know because I got into it a couple times.
Oh yeah.
That's how I know. That's how I know a lot of. That's how I know a lot of liquor I don't like the taste of.
My uncle used to have a bar in his house. He had the Zenith TV, the works in the drawer, the big TV. You couldn't steal
Mhm.
TVs at that time because they were furniture. They were
Oh, yeah.
like, you know. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but he had a hi-fi. He had a hi-fi 78 album record player with the radio, and then he had an integrated TV, which was Zenith, into the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a fully stocked bar with the ice bucket, and he had a
Oh,
little
is it bar too?
what?
Yep.
It was a bar too.
also?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he had some bucks. I had to tell you, man, he was living the dream. It was like Mad Men, like Mad Men when they have to drink.
Yeah, actually, it's funny you mentioned that because I never drank hard liquor until I started watching that show. And he never drank it, then you get, like every other show, the guy's having, I forget the character's name, but he was always having like old fashions, he's always getting.
Oh yeah.
I got to try this out. I got to figure out what this tastes like, and I was like, well, this actually isn't too bad, So I was actually drinking I started drinking so much that my doctor says, hey, what's going on here, It's like,
It just tastes good.
yeah, but I mean, not alcoholic, but I was able to stop it, So it's but yeah,
I didn't have hard liquor until I had a cold one time because I used to go to Old Shabine all the time, and every Saturday I'd just go there, and I would have dinner, and my bartender Chin, the girl, she'd, go and she goes, George, you don't sound good. I'm gonna get you something for that cold. And she gave me a 20-ounce glass of Jameson, like 15-year, and she just poured the whole thing in. I was like, what is this? She goes, it's Jameson Irish whiskey. Trust me, it'll cure your cold. Not only cured my cold, it cured my sobriety. It cured everything. And I didn't have a cold. Like the next day, I didn't have a cold. I slept great. I did not have a cold. I was like, oh, okay.
that'll do it.
Say, hey, that's the greatest cold medicine I've ever had.
It was. So
Dave, so aside from Star Trek, what did you have any other sort of things that got you into this besides, or is it just Star Trek that really, were you like watching like any like science fiction movies, other
Well, when I was a kid, Star Trek was probably first. The first kit I ever owned was the AMT USS Enterprise, and I probably wasn't the only one to have that be my first.
I think that was
kit.
my second one. I think my first. I think I bought the first two kits I got as a kid. One was that Enterprise with the grain of wheat bulbs. Was it the one with the grain of wheat bulbs?
Mhm.
And you had to turn the radar or the dish.
the navigation deflector. You had to turn it to turn it on. Yeah.
Yeah, that one and it was the other one was the manned orbiting laboratory, the old Hawk kit. You remember that one? They had like the clear side that was kind of like it looked like an Atlas rocket, but like the upper stage was clear, so you could see like the manned. It's worth a lot of money now. I actually have an unfinished kit of that
What do
one.
you mean the Apollo command module with the clear sections in it?
No, this was something that was before that. This was like a 50s, I forget who it was something that it was just they were going to send up a rocket and it was basically like the manned orbiting laboratory is what they called it. And, I think Fantastic Plastic actually made like a run of because it had like these two shuttlecraft things on the side, like these old things. And so, but look it up. Yeah, Hawk made it. Yeah, Hawk made it. And
I remember the space taxi. Remember the space taxi?
Oh, was that always a monogram? Yeah, that was the Willy Lay, one of the Willy Lay.
Right.
Yeah. That stuff I like too. Yeah, that Walt Disney Man in Space.
Right.
Theory, the Von Braun rockets. Did you ever build anything like that? You ever build any of that stuff, Dave?
I think he has. Don't you have the? I think
I have a Corvair shuttle.
Yeah, that's it. The Corvair shuttle.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought that I saw that maybe when they repopped it and Colt TV Man had it on his website. I said, "Gee, I think that looks pretty cool," and it was the reason I got it was because I thought it was very forward looking for that time. It has a lot in common with what came much later with the space shuttle.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
so,
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah,
I
so
think I think that was a Revell kit, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty sure that was if it's the one I'm thinking of, the one that they like in the '70s, they kind of Revell reissued it and they made it some kind of part of
I'm
a
not,
like a space pirates or something some kind of
I'm
thing.
not sure, but this
Yeah.
particular kit I think was. I think my version of the kit, I think Atlantis put
Oh
it
yeah,
out.
I think they probably got the rights to. I think but I'm pretty sure that's if it's the one I'm thinking of, that's the
Yeah.
originally was the Revell one. So, but yeah, I think I got a couple of those. But yeah, can never have too many because my philosophy is if you screw up one of them, then you always got another one you can build. So I got like three.
But sometimes,
Yeah,
sometimes the more when I think a kit might be prone to sometimes you're experimenting with the kit, trying to figure out ways to make it work. And if you're going to have a major screw up, it's nice to have a backup. So there are some kits of which I bought two of just in case.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's and then of course you got to have another one just to have for in the pristine, unbuilt version. So yeah, that's so make that three. Make that three kits.
It's the Atlantis Convair shuttle
Yeah.
craft. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they reissued that not too long ago. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I'd love to see them reissue a lot more of that. The old like remember that stuff Glencoe used to that reissued those old Strombacher kits. Like
The Perry Roden kits. Well,
No,
the Perry Roden I remember.
yeah,
Perry Roden kit.
like the Glencoe, like they did like in the '90s, they issued some of those like the what was that thing, the Von Eck whatever, interplanetary probe or whatever, like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Thing
yeah,
is, like,
yeah,
the
yeah.
model like this long when you build it, but it's a very simple kit, but it's like you got to put a brass rod or something in the middle of the thing, otherwise it's going to be like the Discovery or whatever. It's going to got to always be looking out for that stuff. But yeah, I love that old retro stuff. So, but
Yeah, like the like because I'm still working on a I mean the old rocket ship kit. I had seen somebody did a the Chesley Bonestell
yeah,
things, and sometimes when I'm building like like with like a rocket or something like that, like going, hey, that's kind of looking like, I was like, yeah, I'm in a Chesley, I said, I'm in a Chesley Bonestell kind of mood today.
yeah,
And I'm just gonna build this. And my friend John McCallum, because I've shown him pictures, he goes, that looks like that thing from because it looked like the Mars space plane.
Conquest of Space.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right, from Conquest of Space.
Yep.
And I remember seeing it in Bob Burns' basement. He has the original, and it's huge. It's
the big hero one. Yeah, it's massive.
Yeah, it's huge. I was like, wow, that's really cool. And I was like, it it has like those forward rockets to kind of slow it down.
Oh, Dad, yeah. Exactly.
So yeah, I have.
Yeah. Speaking of Bob, did you see those pictures with him and Mike Scott?
And Mike Scott, yeah.
They went and visited him, so he's still hanging in there. So that's good. It was good to see him again because I hadn't seen any pictures or heard anything about him for a while. So, but yeah, I think Greg Nicotero is taking care of his collection.
Oh,
so he's like making sure that nobody because Bob's had like a real Bob Burns is right, Dave.
Yes.
Yeah, and he had like some real problems with people like showing up and just basically kind of cheating him out of some of his stuff, some of the stuff that was in his collection. And as he was getting on in years, that became more and more of a problem.
Sure.
Yeah, there's some
Um,
real shifty people out there. I tell you, man. You'd like to think that everybody in this hobby or in the, in this sort of into this genre so much would be, great people, but there's some real snakes out there. So,
In any group of people.
what's that?
In any group of people.
Yeah,
You'll
yeah.
find
Unfortunately, that's the truth. But
I was telling Gilbert on the last show we did. I said, Bob Burns, he had a Halloween thing at his house where you can walk through the corridors of the Nostromo and be chased by the alien.
Yeah.
It was it was like a Halloween scare thing.
Yeah.
But he got a lot of stuff like from 20th Century Fox. I mean,
I think that was the one that Walter Koenig was.
yeah.
Kind of like the Dallas character or something,
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Unfortunately, I was never able to see, to see one of those things, those Halloween shows yet. But
the thing I wanted to ask Dave was, you use like a lot of lighting on your kits, and your I guess your former your former employer or whatever you worked for, you were in electronics. Do you?
Yeah. That's right. You're electrical engineer, right?
Electrical engineer, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. So that's where the electronics come in. But I mean, are they mostly your electronics, like putting stuff together, or do you use just tenant controls, or do you use a combination of both?
Combination of both. Some models have some of Ralph's components, some of my components. The most popular thing I've used from Ralph is I've used many times over is his navigation for his navigation board. I've used it in planes. I've used it in different spaceships. He has, in addition, I just find I don't need to reinvent the wheel. If somebody else already has it and it's just going to cost me a few bucks, why should I pull my hair out? I see guys with Arduino doing the Arduino thing to do the exact same thing that somebody else has already done, but you got to go and figure it out and write the program.
Yeah, that's exactly what. Yeah, I was telling
the model is already enough work. Yeah, I don't need to do that too.
Yeah,
so that's why you still have a full head of hair. So
it's white though.
But you still got a full head of hair.
It's still there though.
It's still there. So.
Yeah, it's exactly the point. I mean, it's because I've done stuff with Arduino and Raspberry Pis, and it's there's definitely a lot of time involved. To do. The only reason that you would really want to use it is if you had something very, very specific that
something very unique.
There is some times when it's extremely useful, but yeah, there's the time and learning curve goes up dramatically.
Yeah.
When you can just go, like I said, buy it off the shelf, or buy from Ralph, who's really expanded. Like I said, you can multi-purpose some of these boards, maybe what they originally intended to. But repurpose them.
I've even called Ralph up a few times and say I could use a board to do something slightly different than what you're already doing it for, and he'd say, "Oh, no problem." He'll just reprogram the chip to suit my needs, and that's it. So I have a few custom jobs he did for me, as well as some of the off the shelf stuff.
Yeah.
When you have those programmable chips and you got a bunch of outputs on the little board anyway, you could do almost.
Yeah.
What are those chips? I haven't really ever messed around with those. 18 mega is that what the chip said? I knew there was like some chip where you could just blow the code on there and that's
it's a double EEPROM chip.
when it comes to doing it, making my own little boards, if I need a simple board that all it requires is a timer, I'll go old school analog with a 555 chip. Pick the appropriate caps and resistors, and
Transistors and get your yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
555 to the rescue.
yeah.
Great. Okay.
Nice.
So I didn't have any other questions for Dave. I just wanted to showcase his models and what he does, and thank you very much for taking the time to come on and be with us, and I mean, you can come back anytime. We'll just shoot the hell.
Yeah, shoot the
models
breeze.
you shoot the breeze models.
You could maybe talk at some point about some of your finishing, how you as opposed to electronic stuff, because the electronic stuff is very interesting to a lot of people. But you're also a great finisher. I mean, just like it's just the the quality of the.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it, and I do most of that without even using an airbrush. Most of the stuff I use.
I remember you telling me that, and I was like, "Oh, this guy's lying to me. He's lying."
The Tamiya spray cans are so good.
Yeah, they are good. They are good. I gotta admit,
90% of your work with just with just those. I will use an airbrush at times when you have to put multiple coats of, say, matte black to light block.
Yeah.
You can be much more precise and get it into the little corners much better than the wide pattern that the spray cans have.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
really, that's I found that to be. I don't like getting airbrushes dirty. It's too much of a pain.
It's a lot of work. I mean. That's somebody else we should get on. Is the guy for Thomas Gross? The guy does. He's a airbrush seller.
Oh, okay, cool.
He'd be great.
Awesome.
He's the guy who gives like the free airbrush courses at Wonderfest, and so I'm sure maybe there's another sponsor for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
When I was at Steve Neal's, he said if you ever want to do light block, use screen printing ink, black screen printing ink to light block inside of a model. And I was like, why? He goes, it dries, but it dries good, but it dries thick. So it'll actually, I said, can you airbrush? He goes, no, you just brush it on and that's it. I'm like, okay. And that's what we used to use. Like the light block. In like one layer, like you don't have to put like multiple layers on.
Yeah.
But I've noticed that like most of like the older models, like the Star Wars models, when they were like made, they were like black. They were like a black resin. I guess they were like a black resin plastic, so they were like a black plastic. I don't know if they were ever, I mean, I know they were sprayed white, or like a white gray or something like that. But yeah. So.
Well, usually for for light blocking from the inside, I'll use just a cheap black that you might get at Home Depot.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Rust-Oleum or whatever, right?
But sometimes you have to block on the inside and the outside. So on the outside, then I'll use the better quality Tamiya paints for that.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Great.
It is 3:00.
Awesome.
It is time that we go. I have another show that I have to get into, so I'm very sorry. But thank you so much for coming on, Dave. I do appreciate it.
Yeah.
We'll talk to you another time. Maybe you could be on, another time if you want to. It's up to you.
Sure.
But
Very much. My pleasure.
And I might show up at the SME, but just keep that 911 ready to go. So.
Okay.
Maybe you can do an on-site mobile. There you go. You could do like an on-site mobile meeting there.
Yeah. There you go.
Hey.
Do a show.
All right. Here you go. Yes.
All right, guys.
All right.
Great seeing you, David.
All right.
You good?
Okay.
Good meeting
All
you.
right.
Okay.
Good to
All
see you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, everybody.
This has been Model Citizen on GCPR, Ghost Claw Productions Radio. Our guest was David Ivaldi. And thank you, James, for being on, and Gilbert for moderating. And we will see you next week. Hopefully, we'll have someone else on. I don't know who.
Did Mike? Oh, Mike said he couldn't do it next week, right?
Mike is traveling, so
Okay.
he
He's out
said
now.
when he gets back, he's gonna come back. I said hopefully we can get Mike and Tony Hardy on, because it's hard to get Tony on.
Yeah.
He works on the weekend, but he said to me, he goes, well, why don't you? I was like, well, if you bring Tony on, it's a 2-for-1, okay?
Yeah.
And he goes, oh yeah, okay. So hopefully we'll get Tony Hardy and Mike Scott on. That'd be good.
That'd be great.
I still want to get my friend David Ayers on, so we could talk to David about special effects makeup and Close Encounters of the Third Kind and Tourist Trap and Empire of the Ants and all those other
Really?
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really?
Yes, sir.
I got it. Yeah, I want to hear more about that.
I know some people, so. And those people know people, and so
And
okay.
yep.
Yeah,
So this has been GCPR. This has been Model Citizen on GCPR. I'm your host, George Dayer, and we are signing off. So it is 3:02. I have to get into Lisa's program, so
Safe travels.
all
safe
right.
travels.